Hello, magical family. I'm Savina, and welcome back to the Witching Hour. Today, we are diving into the Snape debate. I did a video on this before, so this will be part 2. But before getting into it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and if you do, thank you. It has been a couple of weeks since I filmed the video, and it just so happens that it is February 25th. A couple of days ago, the 21st, was Alan Rickman's birthday. I was thinking about what to film next for you guys, and my Snape debate video actually sparked a lot of conversation, which is exactly what I want on my channel. So I figured, what better time? It seemed very fitting. So for my first video, a lot of you had a lot to say. To my surprise and my pleasant surprise, a lot of you actually love Snape just as much as I do. I'm a huge fan of Snape, his entire character. So if you haven't seen that video, I will link it above. That video, there were a lot of great points made that I didn't even think about myself. I think one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to talking about Snape is how easily people write him off and say he was just like this obsessed weirdo who loved Lily, and the only reason why he turned sides was because Voldemort went after her. And again, I touched on this a lot in my first video, so again, check that one out. Aside from that, which I completely disagree with, by the way, like I said, some really great points were made. And one of the biggest ones was the hypocrisy of the hatred for Snape's character. Let me explain. Hypocrisy in the sense of a lot of people just say, okay, Snape is just this evil, bitter teacher, person, whatever. Even though the way the story ended, people still say he was a bad person. Yet, when you look at Voldemort, which he is evil beyond evil, okay? He's killed innocent people. He's caused many other people to kill innocent people. He's ruthless. He doesn't care. It's like he has no emotion. He's completely evil. But somehow, a lot of people seem to justify his evil. Or it's the fact that, okay, he's the villain. He's supposed to be evil. But you have people that sympathize with his evil. So you could sympathize with the person who's killed, I don't know, a countless amount of people, innocent people, but can't sympathize with somebody who hasn't killed anyone besides Dumbledore, of course. If you haven't read the books yet, oh my god, I'm so sorry. But that was also done under order of Dumbledore, right? So, you see what I'm saying? I feel like so many people make excuses for Voldemort's evil, and he's clearly this insane evil guy. And I think the biggest thing here is everybody says, well, Voldemort was born through a love potion, he never knew love. Well, what about Snape? What love does he know that we know of besides when he meets Lily? Do we know anything else about him? We see that he kind of has a crappy time throughout life, but no sympathy for him whatsoever. And again, I've made this point before as well. Lily was his saving grace. I can't even speak today. Lily saved him from the darkness. And, you know, no matter how much you want to hate him, he chose good at the end. And I always, when I get in conversation with people, one of the first things they say is, you know, I'm not really a fan of Snape, or I love to hate him, you know. I don't love Snape, but I love to hate Snape. And I'm like, I mean, you're entitled to whatever you feel, but I wish people saw to the depth of his character. And even if you do and you don't like him, I mean, so be it. But like I said, I feel like people just write him off. All of this is funny to me because one of everybody's favorite quotes, right? It's from Sirius Black. And it's the infamous, "The world isn't split into good and Death Eaters. We've all got both light and dark inside of us. What matters is the part we choose to act on." That's who we really are, right? Everybody preaches this quote, everybody loves this quote. Again, it's an underlying theme in this whole series. And again, Snape chose good. And he chose good because of love. What's wrong with that? Then my favorite argument, and you're going to see me looking down, I'm sorry, I have some notes written here and there, but one of my favorite arguments is, or one of the things I hear the most is, "Oh, but he was a teacher, he was with students, and he was horrible with students." Which, again, I have something on that whole hypocrisy point I'm going to make with you guys. And somebody made this in the comments in my last video, and I'm so happy they brought this to my attention. So when we all thought that Barty Crouch Jr. was moody, and when he turned Malfoy into a ferret and was abusive, if that's how everybody wants to look at it, a lot of people loved it. It was funny, he had it coming to him. But even so, Malfoy was a student, right? I mean, that could be seen as abuse. Like, especially in today's world, are you kidding me? And that's always everybody's ploy on Snape. Well, he was abusive towards student. Well, here's an example, and nobody thinks twice on it. Snape was to do that to a student, I think everybody would flip their lid. Sorry, we didn't know Moody was evil at that point. And most people applauded anyway. And then you're gonna tell me, even if Snape was to do something to a student who quote unquote deserves it, most people still flip their lid. Another really great example this person brought up to me, and I really didn't think about it either. Our beloved Hagrid. I love Hagrid, don't get me wrong. I love his character. He's such like a loving person. But think about it. That part we all love in A Sorcerer's Stone where Hagrid gives Dudley a tail, right? We love that. We laugh at it. It's justified. Again, he's an adult, Dudley's a kid. It's the hypocrisy of it, just because then it comes down to, oh, well, if a kid deserves it, he deserves to get punished in a way you don't agree with. Like, that makes it okay. But then I know that's wrong too, because you guys would be like, no, because if Snape had disciplined a kid who deserved it, quote unquote, that still wouldn't be okay. So which one is it? Think about it. It's a very, very valid point. And then this all ties into even Umbridge. Okay, and I know the universal hate there. Nobody likes Umbridge's character, right? But we always talk about how evil she was, but again, how she was with students as far as discipline and that goes, that usually gets written off too. We just go, okay, Umbridge is this evil person. We talk about what she did to the Ministry, to Harry, but her other discipline tactics and who she was and how she was as head mistress was horrible as well. But those aren't the points that everybody focuses on. When everybody talks about how much they hate Umbridge, it's never about how she was as a teacher or as headmistress. Or if so, it's touched on very, very lightly, but it's not held to the same standards as with Snape. It's not. I feel like I could still easily say that people hate on Snape more as a teacher than they do Umbridge, which again is crazy to me. And again, isn't that all just really hypocritical from the way we break down Snape's character? We don't give him that same kind of second thought as we would Voldemort or Umbridge. I don't know, you tell me. To me, his character is incredible. He is flawed, definitely flawed. But he's real. He feels real. There's growth to his character. There's layers to his character. There's love, there's pain, there's guilt. Choices, dark and light. And what did he choose? Ultimately, what did he choose? And at the cost of his own life, I might add. He knew the risk going into it. And even if you want to make the argument that it was solely because of Lily, fine, make that argument. But then my argument to you is, even after Lily was gone, and she was gone, okay, he still chose to stay on that path of good and choose good because of her love. After she died, he could have easily just went the other way, no? Like, I don't understand what the problem is of choosing good because you love somebody. And that love was so strong and deep that it continued to guide him and give him enough strength to put his life at risk every day. That's the way I see it. And I will always say, like, Lily is what pulled him out of the darkness. And I try to think about it, like, his character is such a strong character. I think he was strongly written, and there's so much hate for him. He shows you, just like many other characters, at the end of the day, not everything is black and white. There's a lot of gray area. I mean, I think it's great to talk about. Why just write him off? I definitely feel like there's going to be a part 3 to this. I'm hoping there is. You know, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You certainly don't have to have the same views as me, but I'm hoping I could at least get you thinking about his character a little bit more. You know, even if you don't love it, why not at least give him a second thought? Have you ever thought of any of those points before? I mean, a couple of those were new to me, and I was already a fan of his. So, hey. And I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys are doing well, staying safe, and until next time.